Good afternoon, I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times. It's Thursday, November 20th. Holy matrimony, Batman. I couldn't resist myself. It's a momentous day for marriage in Arkansas. Two court cases reached hearings today on challenges to the state's ban on same-sex marriage. The Arkansas Supreme Court was first. It heard a state case this morning, oral arguments. Jack Wagner, the lead lawyer for the plaintiffs in this case, again noted the sweep of change in law across the United States. 50 cases in favor of the plaintiff's point of view, only 3 on the other side. He said those were in foreign countries, Puerto Rico and Louisiana. A little bit of humor. We could use some humor. Right now, as we speak here, there's a federal hearing underway in Christine Baker's court. Similar lawyers, similar issues, slightly different plaintiffs, same point that the U.S. Constitution, as has been held by federal courts across the land, says that it's a denial of equal protection and due process to keep people of the same sex from marrying. We won't know for at least probably 3 weeks the outcome of the state case. The federal case could be longer, but the tide keeps turning. A Montana court yesterday overruled a ban in that state. The U.S. Supreme Court has refused to stop marriages from going forward in South Carolina. So we have a map now where something like 38 states, marriage has been deemed legal between people of the same sex. So we can hope in Arkansas that something similar soon is to come. On other fronts, the Clinton Foundation has filed its annual tax reporting. It tripled its income in 2013 from around $50 million to $140 million in contributions. It's financing health, agriculture, and other types of projects all over the world, including in Arkansas, by the way. I got a complaint this morning from a reader who said they're not doing anything in Arkansas. Not true. Besides the library, there are any number of projects underway here. Another Arkansas name made news over money. The Americans for Tax Fairness issued a report today that says Walmart saves $1 billion by using federal tax loopholes on paying income tax and avoids hundreds of millions of more taxes by parking profits overseas. Whether that'll change things or not, I doubt. Walmart spends $30 million a year hiring lobbyists to get protective elements in the U.S. tax code. One more bit of news about Uber is, as you know, it's been approved for operation in Little Rock, but the emergency clause wasn't approved. It's still operating somewhat outside the law. There are new issues about Uber that I think the Little Rock City Board would do well to take up, and it's troubling reporting that's caused Al Franken to call for a federal look at how they observe federal privacy law. There's indications that Uber perhaps has used its technology to track reporters. It's released information from its internal software about its riders' usage. These are things that ought to trouble people. Privacy is an important issue, even among the Republicans that don't seem to want Uber to have to undergo the regulation that taxi cab companies do. Speaking of reactionary politics, Jonesboro City Council yesterday turned down, or at least temporarily turned down, and maybe forever, a $30,000 federal grant from a nonprofit organization that helps cities do things like fight blight and do economic development. The reason? The money for the foundation is provided by Michael Bloomberg, a Republican, former mayor of New York. He has some politics that some people in Jonesboro don't like. He's an abortion rights supporter. He'd like to see guns better controlled. They don't feel right taking his money. Well, maybe they wouldn't take my money and exempt me from the sales tax since I'm a liberal Democrat if I go to Jonesboro. Crazy point of view that they won't take a do-gooder organization's money that goes to 200 other cities in the United States. I call your attention to some things that perhaps you've missed on our blog. Leslie Peacock has a story today on the Arkansas Times website about the Quapaw tribes moved back into Arkansas once its ancestral home. It's bought land in Little Rock. And yes, the chief confirms for the first time something we've suspected for a long time. A casino on land near the Little Rock port is something they're actively taking a look at. So there's that to look forward to. The big news in the world today will be what President Obama says tonight about immigration. Arkansas Republicans in Congress are already criticizing, not even knowing precisely what he's going to say, but if he's going to say it, they don't like it. That much is clear. And finally, kind of an amusing story. I'd urge you to look back at either Rock Candy or the Arkansas blog for a very interesting interview that Culture Girl, a New York blogger, did on Kevin Murphy, a former curator at the Crystal Bridges Museum, who's now in Massachusetts. He talked about the difficulties of marketing a big museum in Arkansas and a conflict between outlook on whether it should be serious art or shows that are more popularly inclined. He says that in internal meetings of the museum, they sometimes talk more about how Silver Dollar City and Branson did a good job of marketing, and their marketing should be more in that direction. That led me to suggest that what Crystal Bridges really needs is a picture of bulldogs playing poker. And I'll leave you with that. I'm Max Brantley.